Alright, so this video is going to be similar to the last video about interior angles, except now we have exterior angles, which are the angles on the outside of the triangle. I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. And we're gonna look at the exterior angles of a triangle summed to 360. Alright, so that's what we're going to show. We're going to show that the sum of the exterior angles of a triangle equal 360. Alright, so for this one, we're gonna start off with just a triangle. Alright, so let's just with the triangle immediately. Alright. And we don't have to do it this. We don't have to start off this way, right, guys? There's lots of different ways to prove things in math. Okay, you can approach things from different angles. Pun intended. Okay, so let's say we have this. Let's say we have this triangle right here, and let's say that this triangle, same thing. We'll do x, y, z this time. All right, angle x, angle y, angle z. All right, remember from the last video, the sum of the interior is 180. All right, but that's not what we're doing here. We want to show that the sum of the exteriors is 360. All right, so let's get started. Here's how we're going to do it. So to start off for this one, we're going to extend lines so that we can notice some nice things happen with those straight lines that we extend. All right, so just like last time, let's recall. All right, and as it's not a coincidence that we're recalling this. Okay, it's not a coincidence. This gets used a lot when you're proving stuff for geometry and triangles. So recall, a straight angle measures 180 degrees. All right, so a straight angle, straight line, it's the angle that comes from a straight line. So this line right here, there's 180 degrees in here. All right, so now we're going to use that fact right here. So let's start off by extending this line off to the right. All right, and let's look at this. Okay, so here I extended this line a little bit further out, and as you can see, if this right here is the interior angle, right? These were the interior angles that we looked at in the last video. Then that means this one here on the outside right here, this one's going to be the exterior. All right, so might as well go ahead and find the exteriors for each one of these. So let's extend this one like that, and likewise, if this one right here is the interior, right, this is the interior for this one, and if we keep going, then we have the exterior is this one right here. All right, exterior for this one is right here. Okay, and I'm going to extend this one also upwards like this. All right, so if this angle is the interior, right, then that means the one on the outside right here is the exterior. All right. Don't pay too much attention to the shapes. All right, I know this looks like a right angle, but don't assume that. Okay, so now let's look a little further into what we just did. So we extended these arcs, right? So we extended these lines, but why did I extend those lines? Because now we have the arc or the measure of degrees of a straight line, which has to be 180, right? So that means this whole thing right here has to be 180, right? But we're interested in summing some of the exterior angles, the angles on the outside. We're interested in this angle here. Okay, well, if the whole thing is 180 and this one already took up x, then this one right here, this angle right here, this purple one right here, is going to be 180 take away minus x. all right, if this whole thing is 180 and this part right here is x, then this angle right here that's left is 180 minus the x that already got taken up. Same thing over here. If this angle here is y and the whole thing here is 180, all right, the whole thing is 180, then that means this angle here, this angle right here has to be 180 minus y. All right, same thing over here. If this angle, we know the whole thing has to be 180, right? The whole thing has to be 180. So this whole thing is 180 degrees, all right? But the z already took up z of the 180, and we want to know how much x, the exterior angle. This is the exterior, the angle on the outside. We want to know how much that is. Well, that exterior angle is going to be 180 minus z. All right, hopefully that makes sense. I did a little bit more of this in the previous video, so if you have to, go back and do a little bit of review. But now we're just going to continue on with the showing the sum is equal to 360. So sum of the exteriors. So we're going to be looking at the exteriors, right? This is the exterior, 180 minus x. This is the exterior up here, 180 minus y. This is the exterior over here. The exterior is 180 minus z. So we want to show that this one plus this one plus this one add to equal 360. All right. So let's go ahead and add them together and see what happens. All right. So we're going to add them. So we're going to do 180 minus x plus 180 minus y. All right, here's this one. 180 minus x plus 180 minus y plus 180 minus z. All right, so we want to show that this right here just came out to equal 360, right? We want to show that the sum of the exterior angles is equal to 360. And what I'm going to do to show you guys, I think this is going to be the most straightforward way, is I'm going to use the fact that addition is commutative. What that means is I can move these around in any order I want. And that's what I'm going to do. So here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to put the 180 here, this 180 I'm going to put here. Then instead of doing minus x, I can move this stuff around. So instead of putting a minus x, I'm going to put plus 180. And instead of putting a minus y, I'm going to put the other plus 180. So as you can see, these plus 180s I have here, this plus 180, this plus 180, and this plus 180, I just chose to put them in the first three spots, which is okay to do since addition is commutative. The terms can commute. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the minus x minus y minus z. All right. And the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a couple of things first. All right. Well, I'm going to do this in maybe a couple of ways. So here's what I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do, the first way I'm going to write this is I'm just going to go ahead and sum them up real quick. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and sum up these 180s. All right, so that's going to be 180 plus 180 plus 180, which is equal to 540. So that means this part right here is 540. All right, and how else could I have done 180 plus 180 plus 180? I could have just did 180 times 3, which is 540. Pay attention to this part because that's what I'm going to go to the next. That's what I'm going to show you guys for the next part. All right. So you have 180 plus 180 plus 180 is 540. And then here on this part right here, it says minus x minus y minus z. So this is like saying take away x, take away y, take away z. Well, if we take away x and if we take away y, And if we take away z, how much did we just take away? X, y, and z have to add to be what? 180 degrees because they're the interior. All right? So these guys here are 180. So if we take them away, right, which is what this is saying, take away x, take away y, take away z, then that means this part right here is just going to be like the same thing as taking away 180. All right? And what happens when you do that? Well, you get 540 minus 180, which is 360. All right? 360. And looky there, all right? We took the sum of the exteriors. This sum of the exteriors right here. This one was right here. And then we did plus. This one is right here. And then we did plus again. This exterior is right here. We added them together. We did a little bit of algebraic manipulation to move stuff around. And now we have, and then we got 180 plus 180 plus 180 is 540. But then we saw that we have minus x minus y minus z. So take away y, take away x, take away z. But if you take away x and you take away y and you take away z, that's the same thing as taking away 180, which is what I did here. Took away 180. And when you do 540 minus 180, you get 360. All right? Now, however, I want this in a little bit more of a condensed form. So what we can say here is, I want to write this the statement real quick. The sum, I want to write it in purple. I want to say the sum of the exterior angles is, I'm going to rewrite this right here, this part right here. Okay, I'm going to rewrite it. So instead of doing 180 plus 180 plus 180, I'm just going to do 3 times 180 degrees. Is 3 times 180 degrees minus 180, which is equal to 360. All right. So this notation, how we wrote it here, is very important. All right. Because on test, sometimes maybe they'll give you one that looks like this, right? Or maybe they'll give you stuff in different forms that are equal to each other, and you have to be able to realize that they're equal to each other and choose the right statement. All right. But that's pretty much it, guys. I think pretty much went through the entire thing. We just added this one, and this one together. All right. And when we move stuff around, we got 360, which is what we want. Okay. We showed, so check mark. We just showed that the sum, adding these together, of the exterior, the angles on the outside, okay, so the angles on the outside of the exterior angles of a triangle, that they sum to equal 180, okay? The sum is 360. I'm sorry, the sum is 360, okay? 360. All right, very important. All right. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post the questions in the comments. And that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching.